Hi, this project is aimed at third year students for the subject ethical values. Now, some of the main objectives are for students to gain an understanding of what democracy is and the important role that the Universal Declaration of Human Rights plays. Learn about the values, morals, and respect. For students to appreciate the importance of participating in a democracy and its value above other forms of government that stray away from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Linguistically, the project is aimed at students to learn unconsciously understanding of different types of text, both written and oral, the gist and for specific information, and gaining a good grasp of what the different forms of government are, understanding the vocabulary, and being able to express their opinions, sometimes agreeing or disagreeing, using the imperative, and giving short written and oral presentations. Now, this project has been designed into two parts, and each part consists of 3 different lessons. Now, I'm going to go briefly through the activities that have been planned, and then I'll go into more detail with one of the activities. So all of the activities will be given visual aid when possible, and written instructions to reinforce the oral instructions that will be given. Now, in part 1, to begin with, to go over students' previous knowledge, they'll be asked who people are, what do they represent, to introduce the topic also. And then they'll also brainstorm before they're shown their slides what different forms of government there are. And once we've done this, it'll move on to students in groups looking for specific information for one form of the government that we've looked at, which they will then represent in a poster and then present orally to the rest of the class. And then as a class, we can discuss the pros and cons of the different forms of government that they have found information on. This will be followed to consolidate the vocabulary, taboo, with the vocabulary of the forms of government. And then their knowledge will be tested on what they've learned so far through a quiz on Socrative. The following activity is to go a little bit more in depth and relate it to their own country and the democracy that they participate in. So each group will be assigned one paragraph of this text, and they can use the resources they want, the dictionary, online dictionary they found, to look up the information that they are unsure of, the vocabulary they don't know, and then their group will make up a summary of that paragraph to represent to the rest of the class. We'll bring all together the summaries of this text to understand what the Spanish democracy is like. And the last task for this part, students will work individually, listening for specific information about what democracy is, answering these questions, and it will be pointed out the importance here of the human rights, which then leads us on to part 2, which goes more in depth with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We'll be given a definition where the teacher will ask some comprehension questions. And then students will be asked to design a mind map in their group with the ideas of what they think a human right is. And then they will sum up their ideas in 3 words for the rest of the class. Following this, the teacher will give them an adapted version of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And then they must compare what they established in their mind map with what is in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights to see if there are any similarities. Then we'll be asked to look at the following slides and to tell the class, the teacher, what human rights are being violated. And here, students will be given a card of one of the decrees where they must act it out in their group using props if they wish. The only thing is that they cannot speak. For the other groups to guess which human rights they are performing. And they will obviously have the adapted version of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And the last activity, they must here also try and group the decrees together. Which ones deal with education, which ones are talking about individual rights, etc. And this follows with another Socrative quiz to test their understanding so far of what's been given. And this leads to the final task, where in their groups they'll be asked to create a political party to represent the school, introducing policies and values for the school, home and social environments. And here they have to think about what they believe in, what they promise, and taking into consideration the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. They have two things to do. They must create a video, no more than 2 minutes, which they will upload to the school blog so that anyone in the school can have access to it, and they will present it orally in class. And the idea for it to be uploaded to the blog is for the students in their class and in other classes to vote for the political party that they want. Now, I'm going to go back one moment and go into a little bit more detail with one of the activities. So, in the first set of activities for part 1, it's going to take into consideration the Jane Phillips five stages. Pre-teaching, taking a look at the vocabulary of the forms of government, and then they're going to look for the information online, where they will skim for information, scan information, and once they find the information they're looking for, they'll do a more intensive reading and pick out what they need to answer the questions. And obviously using the resources again that they consider appropriate to get a full comprehension of what they are reading. And then this will all be brought together. This will all be brought together to be able to present it in the final poster and present it orally to the rest of the class. Now, this task uses a lot of different cognitive skills. They're creating, they're locating the information, they're organizing the information for the poster, they're analyzing the information that they find on the internet, they're making decisions because they have to decide in their group who's going to look for what information. And they're also identifying the vocabulary that we've seen so far. Now, the evaluation and assessment. For the assessment, it's going to be a more formative assessment, where they will be giving continuous feedback from the teacher regarding how they can improve their poster, their oral presentations, and their final video presentation for the political party. And also, they will have a vocabulary diary where they'll be add in the most essential vocabulary and phrases that they come across. And also a feedback diary where they should write what they have learned from that lesson. If there's anything that they are unsure of, what they find difficult, what they find easy, if they have any questions about that lesson that the teacher can take a look at before the following class and try and deal with any of the things that have come up. There will also be summative evaluation where they will create a portfolio with the poster and the video presentation. So they'll be given a graded mark along with the Socrative quizzes that they've taken. Now, for the poster and the video presentation, the teacher will use rubrics to assess them. And finally, if you want to look at the Word document, you will find more detailed information on the project with additional materials that will be used for this project. Thank you for listening.